Boyhood 2014 is a groundbreaking film directed by Richard Linklater that follows the life of a young boy, Mason Evans Jr., from childhood to adulthood. The film is unique because it was shot over a period of 12 years, with the same cast, allowing it to capture the natural aging process of the characters. This real-time storytelling approach adds an unparalleled authenticity to the coming-of-age genre. The film stars Eller Coltrane as Mason, Patricia Arquette as his mother, Olivia, and Ethan Hawke as his father, Mason Sr. It was widely acclaimed for its innovative concept, emotional depth, and naturalistic approach to storytelling. Here's a comprehensive and in-depth recap of the film. Plot summary. Boyhood is not structured around a single linear plot, but rather through snapshots of Mason's life as he grows up. The film doesn't follow a conventional story arc with clear climaxes and resolutions. Instead, it focuses on the subtle, everyday moments that shape a person's growth over time. The events in Mason's life unfold naturally, reflecting the complexity and unpredictability of real life. Opening, early childhood. The film begins in 2002 when Mason is just 6 years old. He lives with his mother, Olivia, in Houston, Texas, after his parents have separated. Olivia is a hardworking, well-meaning single mother, trying to provide a better life for her two children, Mason and his older sister, Samantha, played by Lorelai Linklater, Richard Linklater's daughter. The opening scenes introduce Olivia's difficulties in raising two children on her own, while navigating relationships with various men, including an abusive, controlling ex-husband, and her struggles with education and career advancement. Mason's life at this point is marked by a mix of innocence, confusion, and curiosity. He spends his time with his mother and sister, going through small but significant events, like the excitement of moving to a new house, struggling with school, and adjusting to new environments. There are a number of small yet telling moments, such as his fascination with a new set of crayons or his curiosity about the world and the people around him. These moments are depicted without much dramatic weight, but are poignant in their simplicity. Middle years, parental struggles, and changes. As the film progresses, we see Mason's life evolve through the next few years, moving into his pre-adolescent and early teenage years. His relationship with his parents remains complicated, reflecting the tension that often comes with growing up in a divorced household. Olivia's relationships. Throughout Mason's childhood, his mother Olivia attempts to build a better future by pursuing various relationships. In her second marriage, she marries Bill, played by Marco Perella, a strict and controlling man who attempts to discipline Mason and his sister. The marriage is a toxic one, and the emotional strain is visible as Olivia and Bill clash with each other and with Mason, who is now becoming more rebellious and increasingly independent. Olivia eventually divorces Bill and, later in the film, marries Jim, played by Brad Hawkins, a man she initially sees as a stabilizing force. Jim is more kind-hearted but also brings his own set of challenges. Olivia's repeated attempts to create a stable home for her children are marked by both her sacrifices and her struggles to make things work. Her character arc mirrors the difficult choices that many single parents face in trying to balance their careers, relationships, and raising children. Mason Sr.'s evolution. Mason's father, Mason Sr., played by Ethan Hawke, initially appears distant and disconnected. He's often portrayed as a fun-loving, irresponsible figure who spends time with his kids when it's convenient for him, but is unable to provide a consistent presence in their lives. He's frequently absent, separated from his children, and seems more interested in having fun than dealing with adult responsibilities. He drives a motorcycle, listens to classic rock, and occasionally takes Mason and Samantha on weekend trips, indulging them in ways that their mother doesn't. However, over time, we see Mason Sr. undergo his own personal transformation. As the years pass, Mason Sr. becomes more reflective, grappling with his own regrets, responsibilities, and efforts to reconnect with his children. His development is subtle but clear. He matures and becomes more dependable, if not entirely perfect. The scenes with Mason Sr. highlight the cyclical nature of fatherhood, where mistakes and moments of growth are passed on to the next generation. His efforts to be more present, especially with Mason, make his character arc one of redemption, teenage years, identity, and independence. As Mason moves into adolescence, the film touches on the challenges and formative experiences that shape his teenage years. Now a teenager, Mason, played by Eller Coltrane, struggles with issues of identity, relationships, and the pressures of growing up. He faces the typical struggles of adolescence dealing with first crushes, school, self-image, and the increasing realization of his parents' flaws. In his teens, Mason is also confronted with the realities of growing up. His relationship with his sister, Samantha, evolves as they grow older. They go from bickering kids to somewhat distanced siblings, still bound by shared memories but on divergent paths. There are moments of genuine connection, like when Mason and Samantha have a late-night conversation about their parents and the way their family has changed over the years. Mason's interactions with friends and romantic relationships also become more important. He goes through a series of awkward but formative moments, reflecting the real confusion and complexity of adolescence. He starts to figure out who he is, though the process is neither clear nor easy. In these years, Mason begins to find his voice. He becomes more self-aware and begins to form a clearer sense of the world and his place in it. Adult life, transition into adulthood. The final part of the film follows Mason as he nears the end of high school and prepares to leave for college. At this point, he's 18 years old, and the film depicts the bittersweet transition from adolescence to adulthood. Mason reflects on his childhood, his relationships with his parents, and the legacy of his family's struggles. He's now an adult, ready to embark on the next chapter of his life. But the journey to get there is fraught with uncertainty, excitement, and the inevitable separation from his parents. Mason's final moments in the film capture the feeling of looking forward and back. He has his own sense of who he is and where he's headed, but he's also grappling with the realization that adulthood is just beginning. His father, Mason Sr., offers him advice as he leaves for college, and the scene encapsulates the passing of the torch from one generation to the next. The last few scenes of Boyhood show Mason standing in a field with his new girlfriend, contemplating life's vastness and uncertainty, much like his father did years before. The feeling is one of emotional closure and continuity. Mason's journey from childhood to adulthood is just one of many cycles in the world, and the film ends on a note of introspection, leaving room for the viewer to reflect on their own passage through life. Themes. 1. The passage of time. One of the central themes of Boyhood is the passage of time and how it shapes people and relationships. The real-time shooting process allows the film to capture the gradual, often imperceptible changes that happen over the years, such as the way Mason and his family members physically change, their personalities evolve, and their relationships shift. It reflects how childhood, adolescence, and adulthood are not just milestones, but an ongoing process of change. 2. Family dynamics. The film explores the complexities of family life, particularly the impact of divorce on children. Mason's relationship with his mother, father, and sister changes as they all grow older and undergo their own transformations. The film touches on the love and tension that exists within families, especially when external pressures and personal shortcomings complicate their dynamics. 3. The struggles of growing up. Boyhood examines the small, often overlooked struggles of growing up, the challenges of figuring out who you are, dealing with familial expectations, finding your place in the world, and learning from mistakes. The film emphasizes that life is not just about big, dramatic events, but about the day-to-day moments that accumulate and shape a person's identity. 4. Self-discovery and identity. Mason's journey is one of self-discovery, and the film portrays his struggle to understand himself in relation to his parents, friends, and the world around him. As he grows older, he slowly starts to form an identity independent of his family, though he remains shaped by them. The film suggests that identity is fluid and always in flux, particularly during the teenage years. Boyhood is a unique and deeply moving exploration of life's ordinary yet profound moments. By capturing the story of a boy's growth over the course of 12 years, Linklater's film provides a nuanced, realistic portrayal of family, time, and self-discovery. Rather than a traditional narrative arc, the film is an emotional portrait of life itself, an exploration of the tiny, fleeting moments that accumulate over time to shape who we become. The film received widespread acclaim for its innovative storytelling performances, especially Patricia Arquette, who won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and its ability to capture the universal experience of growing up. Boyhood stands as a testament to the beauty of time and the inevitable, yet unpredictable passage of life.